Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
You know, Donald Trump's cult is of obedience, not loyalty. Right.
Yeah.
And they are obedient insofar as it will help them. When Republicans realize that helping Trump won't help them, like Chris Christie, then the selfishness kicks in again, and it's more in their self-interest to hurt Trump.
Yeah.
It's never about what's going to help non-millionaires the most with the Republican Party. It's always about what's going to help me most, cutting Trump loose or being more obedient to Trump, because that's what they prioritize. The whole party's a cult of selfishness.
Here's a silver lining for you particularly, Sean. If Donald Trump wins a second term, he is thinking of Ramaswamy as a possible vice president.
That's fantastic. I think he should.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Announce it now.
Mm-hmm. He said, anyone that said I'm the best president of a generation, I have to like a guy like that. Because that's all it takes is just sucking up to Trump. Yeah.
That Kim Jong-un found out.
Yeah. He's a smart guy. He's a young guy. He's got a lot of talent. He's a very, very intelligent person. Oh, my God. He's just... There's some story today, right, Jody, about how this is all they're still doing, are like handing him articles of people saying nice things about him, and then he writes in his big stupid Sharpie something nice to them. I mean, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Give him his binky and put on Teletubbies.
This is one of the worst things, is making me like anything Karl Rove says.
I know.
Oh, stop. You don't. Karl Rove is selfish too. He's not doing it to be a good man. Keep that in mind.
Very true.
He's right about this. He said Ramaswamy is a performance artist who appeals to dark parts of the American psyche. He wrote an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal. He said he is quick to disregard the truth when it is politically expedient. He didn't care that his opponents have more than 123 years of public service experience among them, serving as vice president, governor, senator, representative, drug enforcement administrator, yada, yada, yada.
We would not have gone to Iraq without Karl Rove. He
Thank
deserves
you.
to be in jail for the rest of his life, even when he's right about one horrible man.
Yes, he said he cast doubt on the origins of 9/11. Mr. Ramaswamy later claimed he was misquoted. That is a lie. His grotesque comments are on tape. He wrote, Ramaswamy's a performance artist who says outrageous things, smears his opponents, and appeals to the dark parts of the American psyche. There's already a GOP candidate who does all those things and worse. Republicans deserve a choice, not an echo.
But see, this is the
that
chicken.
was Barry Goldwater's, wasn't it? Americans deserve a choice, not an echo. Where do I remember that from?
But this is the chickens coming home to roost. Karl Rove built this house, and now he's angry about the design. I mean, George W. Bush was a superficial, shallow, stupid, dishonest, corrupt man. Let's not forget.
Yes.
And we went to war we didn't have to go to, and hundreds of thousands of people died because of Karl Rove. And now he's angry that the culture of idiocy and low information voters that he helped create, the Fox News fantasia he helped build, is now coming back, and the stupidity and ignorance and meanness is biting him. It's nothing. Karl Rove can be right and wrong at the same time.
Yeah. You know our friend Brian Karam. I know you probably had Brian on as well, but
many times.
He just wrote a great piece in Salon, How Did We Get Here? The Dumbing of America from Reagan to Trump and Beyond. And you're right, John. And Charlie Pierce talks about this a lot, too. We didn't just get here yesterday with Trump. And Brian writes, Donald Trump turned a 22-minute booking for a felony indictment in Georgia into a 6-hour media special, complete with a larger motorcade than the actual president, with dozens of camera lights on the runway, a chopper talk session. Meanwhile, Joe Biden, the aforementioned actual president, quietly lent assistance to Hawaii after the devastating wildfires on Maui, for which he was criticized by Republican members of Congress. He also met with international leaders at the White House and went after Big Pharma to negotiate reduced Medicare prices for 10 common prescription drugs. The press, well, we completely missed the point as usual and covered every juvenile tantrum Donald Trump threw in his malevolent attempt to stay in the news. The context is missing, the press is failing us, and people are too ignorant to notice the problem. Welcome to Politics 2023. One man who claims to support Christian values, that's why I saved this for you, continues on his run for the highest office in the land based on revenge and hypocrisy, while our president, a devout Catholic, is insulted by the likes of Ted Cruz, accused of being anti-Catholic and the face of corruption in a post on X. Biden, in case anyone cares, goes to church every Sunday. Trump never went once in his 4 years at the White House. I mean...
Neither did Reagan, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the same thing. A shallow celebrity who'd been doing cigarette ads that they propped up. You know, I mean, this really began with Reagan, or you could say it began with Nixon, but at least Nixon had a deeper career of public service. Reagan had a bit. But yeah, this is nothing new. They've been building this, defunding the public school system systematically for decades. It really pays off.
But talk about the Pope for a minute. He just talked about, criticized, it's becoming a cult. It's not a religion.
Yeah,
in
he did it.
America.
Thank God.
It's becoming a cult.
So now I know why Brian called me up the other night and he said, hey, I need to do an interview with you for Just Ask the Question, his excellent podcast. I'm like, Brian, I'm on vacation. He goes, okay, it can be really quick in the morning. I'm like, Brian, I'm going to the aquarium. He goes, okay, 7:45 in the morning. I got up to do this thing with Brian. And he does a great podcast, and he just wanted to talk about religion. Now I know why. Francis came out and said that there is a culture in America that values ideology over faith. And he's exactly right. That's what right-wing Christian fundamentalism is. It has nothing to do with faith in a loving God. It has nothing to do, and I mean the polar opposite of the teachings of Jesus. It's a mean little clique. That's all it is.
I don't know religion like you do, but when they rolled in an actual golden Trump into CPAC, that's when I thought, what's the thing? Worshipping false.
Golden calf.
False,
False
something.
idols.
False idols.
Right, Chris. See, you took the atheist to tell me what.
I've read the Bible front to back 3 times.
And the Pope's right.
But
And the Pope's right about
just
that.
to finish, the seeds of today's political division reporting began with Ronald Reagan. As you just said, Reagan destroying the FCC's fairness doctrine, which we all have suffered from. Fewer companies own most of the corporate media. Fewer independent news platforms exist. They often get lumped in with bloggers and trolls. The end result is chaos, confusions, and that's how America became stupid. Thank you. And he just, here's the thing, I feel like, in talking to Glenn, is why I feel hopeful. He said, Brian finishes by saying, Donald Trump faces 91 felony charges in 4 different jurisdictions brought by approximately 100 American citizens sitting on 4 different grand juries. This major play by the justice system is the last bid for accountability I'll see in my lifetime for Donald Trump, and by extension for those who hold power and are willing to break the law in order to keep it. If it fails, then quite literally, God help us. There will be no holding back the rich and powerful accountable for anything ever. And I think that's what is at stake here, don't you?
That's always been the struggle in this country. It's never been conservative versus liberal. It has always been aristocracy versus democracy. And the aristocracy does not like giving up the vote so the rest of us have more control. Every time a new group has gotten the vote, they've had to fight and fight and fight for it. That's what we're witnessing now as the power elite of old white men realizes that white people are going to be a minority in this country. They're holding on the power even once they're the minority.
I was not surprised. Were you that the, what's his name, the singer of Richmond, north of Richmond, came out and said,
He's not a complete dope? Yeah.
Yes, because when read...
It's about everybody in D.C. and New York.
Well, yeah, except when I read the lyrics, Chris, I was sort of like, working long hours for bull pays is the fault of the rich men north of Richmond. I mean, I'm kind of going, that's like a pro-worker, pro-union, like a lot of...
Ronald Reagan
And also when he talked about welfare, that was the other thing. People automatically went, oh, yeah, he's on our side. Exactly. Well, the vast majority of people on welfare are white.
They are.
So he wasn't, and he was talking about he's done other songs defending the poor. So he wasn't... Anyway, go ahead.
Right-wing people still think "Born in the USA" is a patriotism anthem. They're not. Look at Chris Christie. They're not good at listening to the words.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Let me finish. Brian Karam, most of us are vaguely aware of the danger posed by Trump. Some of us are acutely aware of it, but we're also insecure and ignorant and not sure how to write or speak about him. If we simply call him a liar or a charlatan, we risk being called partisan. Even corporate news managers say they wish they had more Walter Cronkites than Tucker Carlson, but no one in TV would hire or promote someone like Cronkite today. The only consolation is if the Justice Department remains sound, and Donald Trump will likely spend his remaining years behind bars staring at himself in a mirror with no access to the outside world. I mean, it does feel like our last best hope, the Justice Department, in a lifetime of not being held accountable.
Yeah. I mean, thanks for showing up. 50 years after Nixon indicted him. Imagine your family's too racist for Nixon.
Yeah.
50 years later, there's finally, we're entering the age of accountability.
Yep.
It's amazing to see. For all the people, and I'm really happy for all the men here who are decent guys. Because if you're a decent guy and you know how hard it is to be a decent guy, but you try, and you see this man who's everything you tell boys not to be. I'm raising a boy, they're horrible, but you tell them don't lie, respect women, don't cheat on your homework, show up. And then you see this. Don't be a bigot, don't be racist. And you see this succeeding on every level.
Yeah.
It's tough being a man. It's tougher being a woman. But like for guys who really try to improve and be better, and you see someone who represents just the raw id of a guy who's privileged enough to never have to grow in any way.
I've said that to Trumpers before, John. I don't get it. This is everything you teach your children not to be. He embodies everything.
But to weak people, that's strength.
Yeah. One last one. Les in Nevada. You're on with John.
Hey, good morning.
Hello.
I just wanted to say that I think all this started with old Tricky Dick back there when he got the Democrats, the Southern Democrats, to go vote with him and kind of aligned all the haters, the different hater groups, into the Republican Party. So that's what it is now, just a bunch of haters.
Yep, exactly. We will see. 2024. Love Trump state. Yep, please.
It's going to be the craziest year we've ever had in this country.
Boost your immunity now with Tapiro, the new high-potency, great-tasting elderberry gummies infused with zinc and vitamin C. Tapiro is available exclusively at healthpowerusa.com. Boost your immunity. Order your supply of Tapiro now at healthpowerusa.com.